Well, joining us is David Clarke, the director of the Fraud Advisory Panel. David, thank you for joining us. We've just seen a report there of how easily an 83-year-old can be scammed. Is this kind of case quite typical?
Yes, it is, and sadly, we're seeing more and more of these kind of scams and approaches to people. I'd just like to point out that Zelia, incredible lady, and what a lovely response, the way she handled this, very controlled. Sadly, many people, this isn't the case, and when they get hit by fraud, enormous problems. They're not as controlled as Zelia. And this is the type of people that fraudsters target, and it's a huge problem. Fraud today, is our #1 most prevalent crime in the UK. It's enormous.
Well, let's explore that a little bit more, because you spoke about Celia being a strong lady, and we know the obvious symptoms of being scammed is that you lose money, but there are physical symptoms as well, aren't there, and effects of it. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
It is. Losses in financial terms can be, well, they may be small, but these could be enormous for some people. A small loss, enormous for enormous losses that could affect somebody's life savings, their pension. But it's that emotional harm as well, the enormous feelings of letting people down, of being stupid. We know from some of the latest research today that people, they start suspecting that there's something wrong when they've been lulled into a scam. But it really hurts confidence. People are frightened to report. We've even had awful cases in my years as a police officer investigating fraud. People committing suicide. They feel so embarrassed. Now, the heartless fraudster, they want this. They don't want you reporting, especially if they're here in the UK and we know who they are. They're hoping that people will be embarrassed and won't report.
Well, what should you do then? If you do think you are being scammed or you've had phone calls from the same people, what should you do?
Well, this is vitally important. At the Fraud Advisory Panel and the National Fraud Intelligence Bureau, my previous organisation, we're very clear about this. Whenever you're contacted, whether it's by telephone, in the street, through emails, don't be pressured to give information out. Zelia was very good like that. When she spotted the difference, if you're getting pressure, people start asking personal information about your bank, your personal details. Actually, we've got to try and be, I know we're very polite as British people, and that's something we don't want to change, but politely say, sorry, no, I'm not giving you that, and actually, who are you again? I'll call you back. Call your bank back if they're saying they're the bank, or the police, whoever they might be pretending to be, and call them back on the number you have. Politely hang up, don't keep the line open. If you have suspect that somebody's trying to defraud you, and this research has shown that, people get that gut feeling, again, don't be embarrassed, please, get it reported. If it's someone's got your bank details, or you suspect they might, ring the bank and tell them. At least then they can start putting checks in place, blocks, and report to the police. The National Fraud Intelligence Bureau and the Action Fraud Service. Action Fraud is 24 hours a day. actionfraud.police.uk. It's got a telephone helpline as well. Just don't feel pressured into giving information and report it.
That's great advice, David Clarke. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.